Hello, this is Ms. Rosenthal with notes for 1B of Unit 2, Right Triangles. First, a question. What happened to the plant in math class? It grew square roots. Today's lesson, we're going to be solving equations with an x squared term in it. So just a quick review here first. The square root of 16 is 4. Remember, a square root is what number times itself will give me the radicand. So square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 5 squared would be the same thing as the square root of 25, which is 5. Going from that example, we should be able to go this one right away. Square root of 7 squared should be positive 7. Again, that's with no square root over it. So here's what happens when I square root an x squared. It's kind of like the squared and the square root cancel each other out. And so that will leave me just with x. And remember, when we solve equations, that's what we're trying to do, is find the value of that variable. So let's go through a couple of equations. First one, I have x squared equals 25. So we don't want x squared, so I want to square root. And what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. That keeps it equal on both sides. Now I just solve or simplify this. The square root of x squared is x. Here's my equal sign. The square root of 25 is 5. Done. X squared equals 27. Again, I don't want x squared, I just want x, so I'm going to square root both sides. The square root of 27, that would be something that needs to be simplified. And when you look on your chart for simplifying square root of 27, you would get 3 square root 3. So on this one, we need to do a little work before we get the x squared term by itself. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. And now we're back to where we were before. So square root both sides. The square root of 10 is already simplified, so my answer would be square root of 10. Similar to the last one, where we want to get this term by itself. So I'm going to get rid of the minus 8 by plus 8 both sides. So x squared is going to equal 28 square root. So x is going to equal the square root of 28, which can be simplified to 2 square root 7. We have to follow our order of operations on this one. We want to make sure we're doing the squared parts first. So 3 squared means 3 times 3, or 9. 4 squared is 4 times 4, or 16. And that's going to equal my x squared. So I'm going to combine these like terms over here. 9 plus 16 is 25. And then again, just because x squared is over here, I'm still going to square root. So x is going to equal 5. Okay, so you can see on this one that I went ahead and did the exponents. Now I'm going to subtract 16, so I get my x squared by itself. Square root both sides. X will equal the square root of 20 simplified is 2 square root 5. All right, just a couple more here at the bottom where we've got some square roots that are being squared. So if you remember from lesson 1A, we had some squaring of a square root, which basically means square root of 5. Let me do it over here in the sidebar. Square root of 5 times square root of 5, which is square root of 25, which is 5. So rather than writing all that out, if I square a square root, it just becomes that radicand or that number. So that's going to become a 5, just like we found over here, plus x squared equals 21. So I'm going to get my x squared by itself. X squared equals 21 minus 5, or 16. Just like we have been doing, I'm going to square root both sides. Square root of 16 is a 4. Notice again, this simplifying a square root of 16 is just a 4. There's no square root over it. We've already taken care of that. X equals 4. Final one is, again, x squared minus 3. If I square a square root, it becomes just that radicand number. Then I follow my rules for solving equations. And you can see I'm going to get the same answer as before, x equals 4. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Make it a great day, or not. The choice is yours.